boy. Okay, so this is definitely going to ruffle some feathers amongst the Vancouver Canucks collective fan base. Because one of the biggest things we've been talking about this season, ever since, let's say, November, especially after the Quinn Hughes trade, one of the biggest things we've been talking about has been the draft, and whom it is the Vancouver Canucks will take in this 2026 collection. You have top-tier guys like Gavin McKenna, potential franchise-altering pieces like Ivar Stenberg, and top-tier defensemen to be in Keaton Verhoff and Chase Reed, all available at the top of this year's draft. But there is another name that has been linked to the Vancouver Canucks, and he has been linked to the Canucks so much that now we're talking about him as a potential second overall pick? Let's head over to a tweet posted by NHL Rumor Report. This is what Jeff Marek said on Sakaris and Price last week regarding the Vancouver Canucks. There have been a lot of eyeballs on Caleb Malhotra, to the point where I really do wonder if it's not the first overall pick the Canucks get. Even if it's second overall, I wonder if this is the direction they go. Huh. Okay, so the idea here is that the Vancouver Canucks would pass on a guy like Ivar Stenberg, for example, for Caleb Malhotra, should they be given the second overall pick. The idea here is that if Gavin McKenna goes number 1, Vancouver goes 2, maybe they take the center over a guy like Stenberg, who has been projected as at the very least, second overall pick for most of the year, if not even a first overall guy in the eyes of some scouts and writers. This is an idea that I'm not sure Vancouver Canucks fans are fully prepared to hear. Now, I'll say this as well. Jeff Marek is not saying anything definitively. Marek is using his Marek magic to talk about ideas and whisper them into the zeitgeist of hockey conversation, which allows us to dive into it and question whether or not it's actually plausible. But he's saying essentially that the conversation surrounding Vancouver and Caleb Malhotra is so distinct and so direct that it begs the question. If the guy's there at number 2, which he will be, I mean, he's not going first overall, do the Vancouver Canucks take him at 2 instead of a guy like Stenberg? If the Vancouver Canucks go 3, there were already some Canucks fans, at least based off of the comment section of our videos, that were uncertain on whether or not Malhotra should be that guy. Oh, you go with the best player available, and the best player available, in the eyes of most scouts, it's either Verhoff or Chase Reed. I think that's a pretty common idea these days when talking about the upcoming draft. But then there's the other argument. It's like, hey, do the Vancouver Canucks take another defenseman when they already have Zeev Buium? They already have Tom Wielander in the system? I mean, Wielander and Mancini, they're both right-handed guys, and I don't know if you noticed, but Verhoff and Chase Reed, they're both righties too. Do you take a guy in a position of strength because he is the best player available, at least supposedly the best player available, and pass up on a guy who could be a third overall caliber option who fits a need instead? And that is the age-old conversation of best player available versus need. We saw this exact same thing happen 8 years ago when the Montreal Canadiens and Arizona Coyotes, they took Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Barrett Hayton over Quinn Hughes in the 2018 NHL Entry Draft. That was a league-shocking event. And Canadiens fans right away were like, okay, well, if Kotkaniemi can be good, then maybe it's fine. And he had a great rookie season, but then you look at it and it's like, oh, well, you passed on Brady Tkachuk. You passed on Quinn Hughes. These guys are very good players, and you had the chance to have them, but you said, no, we got to go with the positional need instead. Even if you took Zadina, it's not like that would have been the worst pick in the world, because at the time, everybody thought Zadina was going to go third overall. Yes, you can say that it's a bad pick now because Zadina obviously is not great and he's in Europe now, but still, back in that time frame, it would not have been crazy at all. You know what was crazy? Taking Kotkaniemi and Barrett Hayton 3 and 5. Would the Vancouver Canucks be doing the same thing if they took Caleb Malhotra at 3, let alone 2nd overall? For what it's worth, the replies to this tweet are all over the place. Some folks are saying that they actually would be okay with it. If this guy ends up becoming a top 6 center and he fits the bill of a Manny Malhotra-esque face-off winning dynamo who could also score points, that's a pretty good 1, 2, 3, 4 with Coots, Rossi, and Elias Pettersson. There are others saying, no, you take the best player, you take the guy with the highest ceiling, you take Stenberg. Heck, if you take Chase Reed, maybe that's not the craziest thing in the world, but it's certainly a lot less crazy than taking Malholtra at 2. And I say that because we did have some reports from The Athletic. I think it was Scott Wheeler? No, it was Corey Prodman, that's who it was. Corey Prodman had Chase Reed as number 1 on his own draft list. And Prodman obviously has a interesting reputation among scouting fans and draft-based communities. He definitely has a different opinion than the norm. But still, Chase Reed at number 1, the idea of him being a Zach Werenski-esque right-handed defenseman, like obviously that kind of a player is probably first overall caliber. Caleb Malhotra, I'm not too sure if he is a guy that should be talked about in the first or second overall spots. I'm not sure, man. It's definitely interesting. And so for the Vancouver Canucks, literally getting the highest draft pick that they'll have in almost 30 years, essentially. Like, last they had was number 2 and number 3 back in 1999. Ever since then, the highest they had been drafting was 5th for Elias Pettersson. They got Juolevi at number 5 as well. They got Quinn Hughes at 7. They had some guys near the top, but this is a whole new territory for them. 1, 2, or 3. If it's 1, I think reports have come out saying that Francesco Aquilini will essentially force the Canucks to take Gavin McKenna, which is fine. I mean, take that guy. He's first overall caliber anyway. But Jeff Marek's idea, if the Canucks end up going number 2, do they take Caleb Malhotra? A lot of folks would be disappointed with that, but we shall see. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you're a Canucks fan. If Vancouver slips to number 3, who do you take? Assume it's Stenberg and McKenna that go 2 and 1. Do you go with a Verhoff? Do you go with a Reed? Are you a lot more receptive to the idea of Caleb Malhotra going to Vancouver if that's the spot? But if it's number 2, do you pass up on Ivar Stenberg? Do you take Caleb Malhotra instead? I know there's an interesting link with his father still being in Vancouver's organization, but does that warrant taking his son 2nd overall? It's like Chris Draper drafting his son, Keenan Draper, although that was a much different spot in the draft for Detroit. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.